Alright, back out here working on the Trans Am a little bit more. I don't know if you guys saw in some of the last videos, but these head studs were leaking. I had thought it was leaking. These heads are cracked. I don't know if that's a crack or a casting mark or what, but you can clearly see there's something there. It's like that on all four corners. And I thought it was leaking there, but it wasn't. It was leaking out the head studs. And the way I've always was tighten them up and back them off quarter of a turn, and then put the bolt, the washer, and the nut on and torque them. But I guess you can't do that on these, because if you barely even back them off a little, they wiggle a lot. So this time around, I went through all of them for the valve cover, and there's still a little bit of water in there, but that's just from before where it picked up. I already changed the oil once, but they were leaking really bad. I'll change the oil again. I'll run it through a heat cycle and then change the oil and run it through a couple of heat cycles again. But I didn't do the bottom ones. I just did the ones under the valve cover. It did get a lot of water in there before we noticed it, and we did make some passes like that. I hope it didn't hurt the bearings, but now one of these bottom ones are leaking. I don't know if y'all can see the water on the ground. It's not leaking on the driver's side, but on the passenger side, it's leaking. So I'm gonna go through these bottom ones. I think that one's the culprit. I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah, see the water? I don't see water around any of the rest of them. And that's about where the puddle is under the car. That one might, yeah, that one's leaking too. Yeah, either way, I'm gonna go through all of them, and I'm gonna PTFE sealer on them. I'm gonna tighten the stud all the way up, and then put the nut and washer back on and retorque them. They need retorqued anyway. I'm gonna do both sides. All mount we got, it'll hold everything. I just gotta do that, and then I'll put the manual boost controller. I'm just gonna hang it right there because it's really light. And then put the map sensor in it, load the tune for that. Once we get the start card started, I gotta set that at 30 base, because the motor runs better at 34 degrees, but we're going to put it at 30 and then start pulling timing, one degree of timing per 1 pound of boost at around 5-6 pounds of boost. We'll start pulling that out because we've already got 4 degrees pulled. The reason I do that is because this cap is so small, if you pull too much timing, it'll try to jump terminals on you. We definitely don't want that to happen. And then he's got a vacuum block. I'm going to put that up on the firewall somewhere. We only got one vacuum port. There ain't none in the carburetor. We had to drill one in the base plate and run the map sensor, the blow off valve, the fuel pressure regulator, the boost or the brake booster. And I think Christopher's ordering manual brakes. That brake booster's bad. I think that's about it for the vacuum. But yeah, that's what's planned for this week. Oh, notch the hood, because the hood's hitting about right here. I thought it would hit there, but no, it's hitting right here. And there's a brace part that goes across the hood. I'm just going to shimmy that down a little bit because it just needs a little to fit. Alright, got these head studs done, so those shouldn't leak anymore. And I covered it up. Something I noticed though, if you take that plug in the block out, that ain't it, that's the motor mount bolt. But there it is. If you take that plug out of the other side, it don't get all the water out of this side. So if you want to get them out of both sides, you have to take both them plugs out. So I took the studs out on this side, water comes shooting out. Alright, so the hood is hitting right here on the carb hat. So I'm going to try to sand this out a little bit. I bet fiberglass is going to get everywhere. I just took a grinder, with a sanding wheel. I wore glasses and wore a mask. And just carved it out a little bit. I had a bunch of foam in here. That's foam. So I had to rip that out of there. But it's got a brace that goes all the way around it. So it should be fine. That brace is just for the cow part. And it's got the brace there. So it should be fine. Let's see how it fits. Well, it still hits. But it goes along a lot better than it did before. Let's see if the screws will go in. That's all we're worried about, the screws going in. For those. And the hood now goes on. Ooh, almost fell. Yep. It's a tight fit, but it goes all the way on. Alright, I carved the hood out just a little bit more in that spot. It clears good now. Now, this had broke before, I'm not sure why. I'm gonna go ahead and weld that back on. These two front ones, they use a different kind than the sides use. And somehow, I've lost this one. It fell out the last time at the drag strip, but I'm pretty sure we found it, and I must have lost it again. Those aren't supposed to pop out. They've got a ridge on the bottom of them. Yeah, see, keep it from popping out. But apparently, that one wore down and popped out. So, we're either going to have to change that whole thing or find it. I've been looking everywhere. I can't find it. Maybe it'll pop up somewhere. Because I carried the hood back here. I laid a blanket down across here and over there and set the hood right there to work on it. And I already checked the blanket. It's not in the blanket. I done folded it up and set it over there. But hopefully it'll pop up. Either way, that needs fixed anyway because these aren't supposed to come out. So if we can't find it, we'll have to order another one. Or if we can't find one, it'll just go in there. I don't know. But I'm gonna tack that piece back on there and get it to fit, because going down the track, the hood, it pops up over here. It pops up and it gets stuck on this ledge. And we have to fight with it to get it. We have to unhook the hood just to get it to go back down. So we don't want it to do that no more. So we definitely need that one, and that one, and that one, and that one are missing now. It was only that one that was missing. Well, I got the thing for it, and these are different sizes. But Chris had broke this a long time ago, and he found it and he mailed it to me, so I'm gonna load it back on there. Alright, I've tacked that on there. Look at that. I started on this side. Didn't do too good of a job. I did this side. That ain't too bad. I'm getting a little better. It still sucks, don't get me wrong. I'm getting a little better. But that definitely ain't going nowhere. Alright, we've checked the fitment of the hood. That goes in there good, but this actually needs raised up more. A little bit higher there. Well, maybe I ought to keep the wind from getting under it, because you go real fast down the track, it likes to pull it up in the front. I don't know. If I bend that one up, it'll bring it forward and up. Maybe that'll fix it. Plus there's one of them adjuster things right here. I don't know. I like Crystal with that. But yeah, the hood is on. I don't know why it's so wet looking over here. I don't know. Just need this screw now. This side fits good. That side's a little bit low. It looks worse in person. I mean, it's okay. Chris wants a picture of it with the hood on and the fender exit, so Saturday I'll get that for him, because I'm going to pick that back. Actually, that guy's coming to the drag strip Saturday, and I'm just going to pick it up over there. Drag strip's just a half mile that way. Kentucky Dragway. Alright, let's take the hood back off. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the the manual boost controller right in the line. And unlike his, I'm gonna keep the check ball and spring in there and see how much of a difference that makes. I'm gonna put it in just like this. Well, it'll go like that because the arrow goes towards the wastegates. So this small hole, which has a check ball up inside here to seal, and then there's a spring right here, and then the boost pressure goes in here and comes out here. Hey, there's a hot rod here. I don't know who it is though. We'll find out in a minute. And then when you loosen this, turn it to boost, then it lets the pressure out these two holes, which puts less pressure on the wastegate, helping it open, increases the boost. There's a buddy of mine I went to high school with way long ago. We all used to race together back in the early 90s. Yes, I'm old. But they wanted that carburetor, but I'd already sold it. Carburetor that was on that. But they did wind up buying some valve covers off of me, but I sat around and BS'd a little bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this boost controller on. So this is that push lock line, but if you heat it up just with a lighter, just a little, it don't take much, it'll slide right on there. And I tell you what, you'll not get it back off. I can't hold the camera and pull on it, but yeah, once it gets over this lip, these lips, it won't come off. But I'm gonna put a zip tie on it real tight right here and right here. But yeah, that ain't coming off. Heat that up, slide it on there, let it dry, and it won't come off. I'm not even gonna put a zip tie on them to tighten it up, because I pulled and pulled and that is not coming off. And I guarantee you I can pull harder than 30 psi pressure. That ain't coming off. I'm just gonna let it hang out right there. Arrow points towards the wastegates. That should be fine. Now, I'm gonna put this vacuum block in. Right there. Okay, right there. Just put some bolts in the top. But first, I think I put these fittings on here because that's going to go to the booster, which leaks. And then I think I need 3 of them, and I'm going to put them on this side. I need one for the blow-off valve, one for the fuel pressure regulator, and then one for the map sensor. I'm kind of wondering, you really don't even need vacuum for a carburetor fuel pressure regulator. On fuel injected one, you do need, you're supposed to have vacuum, but for a carburetor one, might just need the boost source. For it, I don't know. I'm gonna do some more research on that. But anyway, before I put all that on, I'm gonna go ahead and use this Teflon tape on the plugs and fittings. Now these outside fittings, they have the rubber O-ring on them. So if they have the rubber O-ring on there, you don't have to worry about that. But if they don't have the rubber O-ring on it, you best use some Teflon tape or some kind of thread sealer. I like the Teflon tape on stuff like this. Alright, there we go. It's a cheap eBay vacuum block. And I put 4 of them in there because we're going to put a boost gauge in there. So, map sensor, blow-off valve, fuel pressure regulator, boost gauge. And then the main will come in here off the back of the carburetor base plate, and this will go to the brake booster. And there's the vacuum block's new home. I went ahead and hooked up the brake booster. And I think he's getting manual brakes, so that'll get rid of the booster, and if so, there's a plug for that side. And I need to get a bunch of line to run the rest of it. One of those will go to a boost pressure gauge that we got there. One goes to the blow-off valve. I want to go into the fender, into the map sensor. I'm going to make a separate video on that because I'm going to show how we do the timing ramp in the MSD6AL programmable. And then one of those is going to come over to the fuel pressure regulator. Well guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. The only thing left to do is to hook up the MAP sensor, MAP sensor, manifold absolute pressure, and run those lines. I'm not going to bore you with running those. Plus, I don't have the line size I need. I think that's 3/8, so I'm going to have to go get about, no, I'll get 10 feet. I always get extra just because I always wind up using it. But I guess after I'm going to do the separate video, like I said, of hooking up the MAP sensor, which you just plug it in and run a vacuum line to it. Then under boost, that vacuum line becomes a boost line, and it tells the MAP sensor where you're at, and then the box pulls the timing as needed. And I'm gonna do a separate video on plugging that in and doing the tune, because I want to show y'all how I did that in the MSD6AL programmable. But y'all like and subscribe and have a great day. I'm gonna go watch Slugfest Snow Prep at Kentucky Dragway. They usually have a good turnout to show up for that Friday night. They do 1/8 mile to 1/4 mile, pour your own puddle. And then Saturday they do front of the track, water burnout only. And they scrape the track. So, I mean, all the big name no prep guys were there the last 2 times. This is the 3rd time they've done it. So hopefully they'll all be there again. But y'all like and subscribe and have a great day.